All right, step one of the flour sack drawstring bag can be found in your direction manual. We are going to be starting with step one, just preparing our fabric. So we are going to be using the rotary cutting system. Every time you use the rotary cutter, you want to make sure you've got your rotary cutter, your ruler, and a mat. Please don't cut directly onto the table. It will leave cuts in the Formica, and we really want to keep our school looking nice. We're going to take our fabric and just kind of fold it in half. We've pressed it now. We want to just fold it in half. If you line up kind of the selvage edge side, it's the really tightly woven edge that's not all frayed and yucky. Line that up and kind of match up your tops a little bit. We're going to be trimming off all of this side and this top part. The selvage edge, if it's really unstraight, go ahead and trim it off, but if it's just off just a little bit like this, you're going to be just fine. So, cutting mat. Essentially, this cutting mat is a 1 inch by 1 inch ruler. It helps protect our countertops. It's just a grid, so we can lay this out anywhere on our grid. We're just going to line it up kind of semi-straight right up there at the top. Should be pretty close to being semi-straight down here at the bottom. Line up our sides so that we've got it relatively square. This is our rulers. Some of our rulers have a little lip edge, right, going along this edge right here. That's to help protect your fingers from getting cut. I chose one that doesn't have the finger protection on it. Essentially, there's a little lip edge right here that you can put up to butt up against the side of the cutting mat to help keep your ruler straight as you're cutting. The rotary cutter itself, lots of different styles of rotary cutters. This is my preferred style. We are going to open the blade. Remember that anything that goes on that edge is going to be cut. That includes your finger, so you want to make sure that your finger doesn't go up too high. Your finger should stay back here on the plastic. Whenever this is not in use, make sure you cover the blade. Anytime you set it down, the blade should be covered so that there's no chance that as you're reaching, you end up cutting yourself. So we are going to start. I just want to trim up. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to cut on the right-hand side of my body. I'm going to line up. I'm going to find my narrowest width, and I'm going to trim off. We don't want to trim off a ton of our fabric. I'm lining up that ruler with the edge of my cutting mat, placing my fingers. Make sure your fingers do not extend over the ruler or you will get cut. Okay, fingers stay up here. That's the benefit of that finger guard that's right here. There's no chance of cutting your finger. I'm going to open the blade. I'm going to place my blade right up next to the ruler and make one solid cut away from my body. Close the blade. That's going to cut your fabric and give you a nice straight edge to work with. You want to be very careful that you are not rocking back and forth. That's going to give you not only a jagged edge, but a lot more likely to cut yourself. You also don't want to cut towards your body because your body's standing there, and that's really not the place you want to end up with cuts. I'm going to rotate my fabric, once again, just on the grid line, and I'm going to cut off the top. Don't cut on the fold, cut the top off where it's not connected. One solid cut, once again, away from your body. You'll get better at it as you practice. One solid cut, close the blade, and now we've got, if you would like to, you can cut off this third edge. Don't cut the fold. You want it to be able to fold open so that you've got one long rectangle. For now, this is good. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take this fabric over to the sergers, and you're going to serge each of these edges just like you did on your sample. Then we're ready for step 2.